Welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
Kale, Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's go. And welcome in to the Rob and Kale podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. Got a jam-packed show for you tonight. All kinds of good things to talk about. I want to welcome the studio audience. Before we get to them, let's welcome in my co-host. He is the best Gamecock YouTuber on the planet, the man who invented the Lamont Paris bandwagon so everybody else could get on it. He is Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up?
I know to you.
I'm silly again tonight.
I put the wooden wheels on that wagon. I'll have
That's
you know.
right. You built it because you knew what he would build, and you were one of the
right.
You were one of the flank layers, sir. You were right there in the mix on Lamont Paris.
I said if he builds it, I will come. Well, no, that's not right. I said if he builds it, they will come. They'll come.
Yeah,
to the arena. That is.
Yeah. Blake wants to know what kind of opening was that. Well, that was an opening that Jim Cornette, the Louisville Slugger, the best damn wrestling manager ever, actually did for Mr. Carolina Jackpot there. Compliments of our friends. We all got together and gave that to Jackpot one year. Nathan and Peg and Megan and Big Barney Ross, everybody contributed to that to basically get Jim Cornette to tell Jackpot his team was worthless. So we made a nice.
I told him. I said, boy, it'd be nice if I got one of them cameos from the best wrestling manager ever.
Yeah. So
unfortunately, Bobby the Brain Heenan was dead. So Cornette.
Well, Cornette was great, and hey, when you really step back and look at it, though, you didn't expect Cornette to just come on there and give you the old lovey-dovey. He had to tell you sucked ass. I mean, that's what he does. So.
Absolutely not. Next time you get a wrestling manager to go off on me on Cameo, I'd like you to get J.J. Dillon to hit me with one of his shoes.
Right upside the head. That could be funny. All right, well, we got a lot to get into tonight, Jackpot. Jackpot sent me something here a few minutes ago. We're going to get into that. It's a football topic. Oh, look at that. And it's the SEC football quarterback rankings for 2024, an early projected look at the starters.
Yeah, I'm not. So, I saw it on another YouTuber show today, and I'm not quite sure I totally agree with it.
We'll get into that in a moment. We've also got, I want to talk a minute about the basketball teams. South Carolina continuing to win, 20-3 now. Hey, not much you can all they do is win, Jackpot. 3 losses on the season. I mean, what can you say?
I mean, they've overcome the slip up game, the we got ranked game, they seem to be clearing all the hurdles.
Yeah, is Wheezy having problems back there?
That's the Willie. That's the shit Zal. She wants in the room back there when she's not doing it. So,
all right. Well, do you want to do basketball or do you want to do football first? Which one do you want to go with first?
Let's talk about the basketball. Big win last night by Clemson on the road. What about that?
Well, it was so funny because on my Twitter feed, all the Clemson folks were, basically they all were agreeing with me for the longest time, especially after the Virginia loss that made no fucking sense. I mean, all this stuff coming back and, Brownell lost to Georgia Tech this year. Every year there's a team they lose to that doesn't matter. Now, if I told you at the beginning of the season, look, Brownell is going to go into North Carolina and win. He's also going to have wins over the top 2 teams in the SEC, one in their building. If I would have told you that, you would have been like, that's bullshit. That's never happened. But that's what he's done. Now, does that mean that he's a good coach? No. Because it's a consistency thing. You never know what you're going to get with this team. They could go out and they could have that game like they had at North Carolina, which, by the way, they should have won by 20 points, but those fucking communist refs, and I hate to use that word, but that is what they are. When you go up there and play, those wine and cheese motherfuckers up there and the same ones at Duke, they all should be just thrown out to sea. They are terrible. You have to beat starting five plus the guys in stripes too, regardless of whatever team you're playing up there. But they beat them both, and they won last night. So it's a good win for them, but I don't think it's that great.
So, Sir UGA over in the comment section, I don't know if he's trying to talk shit about Connor Shaw. Connor Shaw is a so-called legend, question mark. Well, I mean, he ran it in raw on your team 3 times in a row. One time really bad. So, yeah. Yeah, he is to you. It's Mr. Shaw to you. Go ahead and call him Connor.
Chris doesn't know anything about basketball. He says Alabama's barely top 5. They get dragged by any team with a pulse. I mean, they have one conference loss. Does that mean your conference sucks an asshole?
That's not
Is that
true.
what that means? They have one conference loss, Alabama does.
So
they're 1 in the conference. So under Chris's logic, the SEC sucks.
The only team with a pulse is Tennessee.
Oh yeah, it's all Tennessee.
But South Carolina beats Tennessee. So
yeah, South Carolina beat.
They're losing right now on the road at Auburn, 81-67. Well,
got that game going over here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, here's the thing. Auburn's actually pretty good too.
That's not a bad loss. We won't win there.
Yeah, they've won 13 straight games at Auburn. So, but with some people, it's just about Tennessee and Rick Barnes, who I think is a good coach, but he'll never win there at Tennessee.
Well, Auburn had to go get Tennessee's former coach to get any good.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the only reason why they're doing
so
well.
A guy that was a known cheater, cheated at Tennessee, had to. My God,
I'm watching. He gave somebody a hamburger or something too, didn't he? Or
sure,
barbecue and.
It was enough to get him, and they'll tell you that it was nothing, but it was enough to get show cause.
Inappropriate people at the barbecue.
What are they? I don't know. Was it strippers or that was the strippers? Was Rick Pitino? He had the strippers in the
No, it has something to do with recruits or he had like a off-season barbecue or some kind of get-together or something during the period when you're not supposed to do it, apparently. But I mean, that must have been that was severe enough. He got one of those show cause things.
Yeah.
Where he couldn't coach for a few years. So, I mean, they always go around handing those out.
This kid that's playing for Alabama, that's shooting free throws right now. I mean, he looks like he's got like a 70s porn stash. Alabama's got like these long guys. They don't have anybody with any bulk at all.
They don't have any murderers this year.
Yeah, Alabama has no murderers this year, but Alabama's going to they'll be a top 5 seed, I would think. Auburn's playing like they want to do something.
Who's that jackass playing for now?
Who's that? Oh, he's playing for the Charlotte Hornets, and they're terrible.
Oh my God. Every one of our pro sports teams up here in Charlotte's awful.
Yeah, the Panthers are a shithole.
The Hornets aren't as bad as the Panthers. I mean,
Hornets are. Well, I mean, I think the Hornets, if I remember correctly, I think they've only won like 10 games all season. They're really bad. I think they're dead last in the league. So look at Nate Oates down there, at murderer supporter.
They haven't ever really done anything of the Hornets. I mean, they had made the playoffs one time. Well, I mean, they went kind of like this past the first round of the playoffs, like once. Maybe that was when it was the old Charlotte Hornets too, when Rex Chapman was on the squad, I think.
The Charlotte Hornets are currently
LJ.
Yeah, the Hornets are currently 10-39.
Oh my God.
They're just ahead of the Washington Wizards, who are 9-40. Which why are they the Wizards? They've always been the Bullets. Why did they rename them the Wizards? What the hell is that all about?
I guess that was promoting gun violence, sir.
Really, by calling
they've been the Wizards for
I know,
since before Michael Jordan owned the team.
Then you've got the Detroit Pistons are the worst team in basketball at 6-43.
So I find that's just strange to me.
Yeah.
The bad boys.
Yeah.
Remember that back in the 80s? I mean, they were always good. That's
Let's
kind of
welcome
crazy.
Sir Uga to the show. What's up, buddy?
I think Connor Shaw is the best damn quarterback USC's ever had. USC Junior, my bad.
You would be correct about that, sir.
How you feel about that, Jackpot?
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough between him and Spence. I'd say Spence was probably more talented.
No,
if we could have gotten 4 years out
just Google it. Spence ain't nowhere on the list, bro.
Shit.
Google it.
Google what? Spence?
Who's the best quarterback in USC junior history?
Well, if I actually put that in my Google machine, it's probably going to pull up nothing.
No,
because Google don't know who USC Junior is.
Well, I'm sorry, University of South Carolina. Put that in there, buddy.
Put it in there, Rob, and see what it pulls up.
Oh, okay.
Look it up, Rob.
Yeah, I'm just here to fucking look up shit for Jackpot.
Yeah, look it up. You look up shit, bitch.
Well, with that, you can look up. Hey, does this sound like a phone hanging up to you? Goodbye. How'd that work out for you?
I'm
looking up shit. That's how that works. There you go. You want to be a dickhead? You can be a dickhead and go talk to yourself. Good luck with that.
Anyway, he had asked me over in the comment section, were we making reservations? We're going to be at Panama City for the Slav Olympics. Man, fuck no. I ain't going all the damn way down there. That's too damn far. I'm sorry. And I would love to. I had a great time last year, but that's just too damn far. I mean, it's too far to drive. And then you don't want to. I don't want to fly somewhere for 2 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna fly somewhere, it's got to be a destination. So it's kind of in that muddy middle. So I ain't gonna make that. Lou should have had that thing somewhere more centralized. But he needs to have that thing in North Carolina or South Carolina or Georgia.
Why not have it in Charlotte?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, yeah, that would probably be more centralized for most everybody that watches it. I mean, Lord, I mean, you could have it. The first year he had it in Atlanta. He actually had it but I think it was only like a 1-day event. They had it in Centennial, but that was weird too. That was the year, that was during COVID, and they had it at Pigeon Forge the next year, and that's a pretty cool spot. But
Chris says Gatlinburg. Okay, I can buy that.
Where?
Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
same thing as Pigeon Forge. I mean.
Jackpot, this guy's been on a milk carton forever. Let's bring in
having it damn Cherokee.
Yeah, with the Indians.
Yeah,
Bluegrass Sports Media, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Hey man, how big was that milk carton you were on? Were you on like the gallon jug or the half-gallon jug?
Oh, listen, we didn't pay the internet bill in the trailer park, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I have been watching Jackpot's videos. So, like I say, congratulations on South Carolina having a great basketball season.
Did you just wake up?
No, I'm a little bit under the weather, guys.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, this shit's going
Possible
around.
AIDS? Possible AIDS, Jackpot?
Yeah.
Possible.
Could be AIDS. Could be a chest cold. One of the two. But Jackpot, I saw you make a video probably, I don't know if it was a couple days ago or what, but you were talking about NIL and how it's ruined college football.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you didn't think they should be able to make as much money as they make.
Well, they shouldn't. I mean, and I mean, look, I mean, it's ridiculous that you got college athletes that can make more than an NFL athlete. You're talking about you got college quarterbacks out there who are going to make more than Brock Purdy, who is going to be a Super Bowl champion likely. And that's just nuts.
Well, and I see what you mean there, but at the same time, like it's a free market. Like no one can say what people can make.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, they can't because they put no kind of stipulations on it to start with. So,
Well, they can't because it's illegal.
how so?
You can't. It's like someone saying, "Jackpot, you can't make a certain amount of money because I say so." It's illegal. You can't. It's called antitrust.
Mm, I mean, why a salary cap? You can't do a salary cap because they'd have to be employees. I've gone down this crazy road 100 times before too.
Crazy thing is, I think that's where we're going eventually. I just don't know how long it takes us to get there.
I mean, I don't know how you could do it though if you can't tell them how much they can
are you
earn.
how are you gonna have a salary cap, and you're not gonna have like these, you know, these boosters still paying them extra on the side. Like, look, we're going to pay you $60,000 a year because that's what the conference tells us to pay you. But in all actuality, we're going to pay you 3.5 million because we have a car dealer that loves you and wants you here, and that's what you're going to get. And by the way, they can't do anything to us for that. They can't regulate it. It's the way that it is.
Yeah, I don't know how you regulate that. I don't think you can. But it the salary cap thing is really on to make it fair for the other teams in the conference, but it's never really going to be fair. Like the bigger brands are always going to get the better players. It's just how it's always been, how it's always going to go. There's no. It's not the NFL. There's no. What's the word I'm looking for? Shit.
There's no union.
No, not that. It's like where anyone can win it.
There's no free agency.
Yeah, no free agency. Like and there's no draft, right? So you can't
Right.
say you're coming here. They get free choice where they're going to go, and they're always going to get that. They're always going to pick the schools like Georgia and Alabama, Texas. You get the onesies and twosies that want to go to schools like South Carolina and Kentucky, but majority, it's just not going to happen. And expanding the playoffs is going to make this even worse because now instead of having to go through a season and win 2 games and win a national championship, you got to win 4 or possibly if they go 16, 5 games. It just makes it where teams that aren't elite are never going to win one.
I don't see how if they took a thing at 16 teams to the playoffs of 16 teams, I don't see how they could still have 12 regular season games. So it's like they'd have to eliminate one.
Yeah.
But they're going to have 12 regular season games, Jackpot. They're going to because it's going to make more money.
Yeah, because it's all about that money.
It's all about the money. It is.
Well, they're already trying to expand the brands across the world. I mean, Notre Dame opened up with Navy in Ireland last year. There's going to be another game in Ireland this year. I think there's a game in Germany this year, and it's all about, hey, we can go and give up a home game, but get paid big time to do it. There's money everywhere with that, man.
Yeah, it is about. It's all about the money. It's taking a little bit away from the sport, but I mean, at the same time, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. But you really can't. I don't know how they can have a salary cap like you were saying. It's illegal to tell one of these athletes how much they can make, so you couldn't really cap it. So I mean, that I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. Really don't.
It seems like they opened the doors and they didn't know where to go, and that's what Tennessee's saying. They're saying there was no. You didn't tell us we couldn't do it or whatever the bullshit they're saying. But they're going to win their lawsuit too.
Well, I mean, it's the same old song and dance with, and them. And look, there may be some validity to what they're saying, but it's just really hard for, especially us over in the college football fan and YouTube community, to really get behind them and support them because of, how whiny and petty and silly and all the cheating that they've done in the past. I mean, nobody wants to support them other than their own fan base. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not. Flying some kid. I mean, having your boosters. Because the university didn't do it because your boosters flew them. Oh, it's okay. No, they knew that shit wasn't okay. I mean, that's like I don't know. It's just like it's a gray area. Like I said the other show, it's a gray area where you got to ask, hey, this doesn't look right. This doesn't smell right. We probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah, and I hope they lose the lawsuit because I want to see them get punished just because I don't like them. And I'll tell you, I'm biased. I don't like them at all. Anything Tennessee, I just hate it. Especially since at least you beat them in basketball. We lost them in basketball, so my life is living hell right now.
Do you get another shot at them this year?
We do. But if we can't play any better defense, then we're fucked. I mean, we got the best player in the country, but it doesn't matter if
Oh, this one's going to be a road game, isn't it?
Yeah, they beat us. They beat us in Rupp.
Oh yeah. You're not winning that.
Yeah, but we do. I think we do have the best basketball player in the country, Rob Dillingham. That kid is legit.
Yeah, he is.
He is really good. I'm gonna get your thoughts on this, Jackpot. What do you really think about the Lenore Sellers kid?
I mean, I think he for the flashes that we've seen of him, I think he's got some tremendous athleticism for a big kid. He's fast. I think he's going to be hard to bring down. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's smart. He's got some of those intangibles. So,
To me, Jackpot, and don't take this the wrong way, he's KJ Jefferson.
how's that?
He's mobile. I don't know if he can throw the ball downfield. We haven't really seen it. I mean, he just reminds me a lot of KJ Jefferson.
KJ Jefferson had a good year or two.
He did, but
He wasn't the worst quarterback ever. I don't think this guy is going to be like I don't think this guy is going to be in New York at the end of the year and a couple of seasons. But hey, he can open up a kind of a dual threat game that we haven't had there for a while.
yeah, and I think this is a big year for Shane Beamer. Like he has to do something this year because I hate to say it because he overachieved the first couple of years, but he's not on the hot seat yet. But if he has a bad year this year, he's probably in trouble.
He's probably going to get fired because he's got a really tough schedule this year, and I think that he would have probably gotten himself a mulligan this year if he'd won 7 games and made a bowl this past season, but he didn't do it. So he's probably coaching for his job this year. A lot of people don't really care for him. I told you I was on the fence about him, and I've just decided I'm just going to support him until I can support him no more because, he is the coach. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much bitching and complaining I do. It's not going to change anything. Now, I say that now, but, we're losing the Old Dominion in the third quarter or something, and he says something stupid after the game press conference, and we come back and win 24-21. He tells everybody about the heart and soul of this team. Yeah, then I'll be fucking pissed again.
Hold on, Jackpot. You got to find your joy and celebrate that win over Old Dominion because all wins are important, Jackpot.
Yeah. You guys are miserable people if you don't find your joy.
Find your joy, Jackpot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also,
Jackpot gets so pissed when you tell him that he wants to choke that motherfucker every time he says that. Every
Well,
time Beamer's up there and he's halfway crying or whatever, I could see Jackpot literally wanting to fucking choke him. You motherfucker, get the defense out there and teach him to tackle. Fuck is wrong? I can hear Jackpot now. Take some of that love and turn it into some hate for the damn defense. I'm tired of seeing Tennessee run over us. I'm tired of looking like a dickhead against North Carolina.
Exactly.
Fuck me for this. I mean, Jack. That's my modified
He
version.
gets fired up at the wrong individuals, in my opinion, wrong groups of people.
Yeah.
I mean, like he does. I mean, like he gets mad, and you can tell he's got some ire there, but he directs it. He directs it at the easier targets, in my opinion, who aren't going to push back.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
field goal.
fans,
Guys
like
getting the hot dogs.
like you fired the running back coach instead of firing the damn offensive line coach.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you guys hire like a fucking GA at that position or something?
What about that poor Cooler that he took it out on and he had to kick it? That Cooler won that fight and broke his foot for him.
Yeah.
Then it was a joke. I broke my foot. I don't want anything bad going out there. I'm coming to tell you.
We're gonna fire the running backs coach, and but we're not gonna we're gonna get our wide receiver coach and put him over there coaching the tight ends. But we're not gonna address the strength and conditioning issue.
Yeah, and speaking of him picking on people that he knows not going to push back, who's that reporter that he keeps? When he got when he hired the offensive coordinator, he gave him a bunch of shit about an article he wrote. Who was that?
Phil? Was that Phil?
Yeah, I don't know. Phil.
Is that the one? Is that who it is, Rob? If he gets,
I think it was Phil Kornblut. I used to work for Phil, and
come on, Phil.
Phil actually asked the questions that people want to hear. Like, Phil's question was valid. And of course, none of those stickers that are in there. What was the question that threw him off? I can't remember. It was a valid question, but none of those dyed in the wool motherfuckers in there wanted to have that question. It was, remember, when you come in here, it's all love. We only ask questions like, how great was the band tonight? And what about that big win over East Toboga Community College? Well, that was a big, big win for us. That's the way you have to think when you're in there.
Was that the same guy that Muschamp called Clemson Phil?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Well, look, to go behind this, it's actually not going behind the scenes. If you want to do research, Phil graduated from fucking South Carolina. And he's damn near 70 years old, and he's been covering the beat for 30 fucking years. 40 years. But these dum-dums are like, oh, he's a Clemson apologist. No, he just holds your piece of shit program to the fucking letter that they're supposed to be. He was one of the guys that sat there when Spurrier's like, I'm not talking to anyone because Ron Morris hurt my feelings. He was the one that sat there and said, basically, look, you're an employee of the state. We're supposed to have this press conference, and that's what you're supposed to do. He's one of those guys. But,
Jerry Wells says Greg Atkins has health issues. See what he can do healthy. Greg Atkins not the offensive line coach.
So what's the story on that? Because I heard a story like Greg Atkins got the health issues, and then they brought like the assistant O-line coach in as the actual O-line coach or something.
Yeah, this guy Lonnie Teasley's like, I don't know, he's one of his proteges or something, and he was working under him, and I'm not sure exactly where he came from. So they made him the offensive line coach, and Atkins is like in an off the field role. And I mean, he hasn't been. Atkins came from Marshall the year before. I think he came in 2021. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he came in Beamer's first year, and Marshall had like led the country in rushing in 2020 or something. Okay, well, I mean, 2020 was 2020.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of those stats were meaningless. They really were.
All right, hey, we got to move on, man. But thank you.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, you're right about that, Jackpot. Let's welcome in Rob has an SEC bias. Welcome to the program, sir.
Lord.
What are you doing, man? Nobody can hear you. Hello.
You're muted.
You're muted, buddy. Nobody can hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
How are y'all doing?
Doing
Off
great.
my buddy Lamont
Fantastic.
after another huge dub for the Gamecocks. Brings the combined record up to 48-3, I believe. I mean, talk about a basketball program, Kale.
Yeah.
But I was kind of listening to what y'all were saying. Yeah, I mean, we didn't know what we had when we had Eric Wolford, did we? I think that's been the biggest problem with our team that hasn't really been addressed outside of recruiting has been the O-line, which honestly, that's probably why he's keeping the coaches around as far as Clayton White and the O-line coach. Because you look at the guys they're bringing in this year, and I mean, would you want to lose Josiah Thompson to get a new O-line coach this year, Kale? I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, what's more important? I mean, one person or the future?
Well, here's my thought process. Get your recruits in, fire him next year if he stays long enough. I think that's what he's honestly thinking about doing. I don't see with those two positions. I mean, you got Dylan Stewart coming in, Cam Pringle, Josiah Thompson. Those are three of our biggest recruits. Arguably, you're going to lose all of them if you fire Clayton White and Teasley. If not, two.
I mean, how do you know that?
That's just how it goes, man.
How do you know they came there for Lonnie Teasley?
Well, that's who mainly held the recruiting for him.
They fire or the defensive line coach that was there last year, that Jimmy Lindsey, he left during spring practice, and nobody left.
Last year?
He left in spring practice last year and went to LSU to get on Brian Kelly's staff, and so they hired God, I can't even think now. What's his name, Rob? Robinson, Travaris Robinson from Tulane.
Well, not the real T-Rob, but
nobody left. I mean, you didn't have any defensive.
We had a couple. We had
not any that were any good anyway.
Yeah, I guess those ones that I'm thinking of were the ones that got caught up with that gun on campus.
That happened before all that.
Yeah,
that was like a year ago.
I don't know, man. With the way transfer portal is today, I would rather be safe than sorry, personally speaking. I can see a little bit more why he's bringing back Clayton. I kind of agree with you more on moving on from the O-line.
I'd rather also not have my quarterback have his goober in the dirt every other play.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine a year where Rattler isn't being pressured on every single fucking drop back? It could have been special.
Yeah, there's if we had, I don't know. Insert any team here. If we had Kentucky's offensive line last year. I mean, Rattler would probably thrown for another 500 yards.
Now, my thing is, how do you because you know as well as I do how injury stricken that O-line was. Do you think we're it can't be like that again, right? Surely not.
Well, I mean, they got the same strength and conditioning coach, which would lead me to think they got the same strength and conditioning program.
Who are the notable? Jalen Nichols is the only notable person really leaving the line, right? And in that center.
Can you really trust that offensive line until they actually go out there and prove it? I mean, can you really look at that as like, hey, this is going to be something that's going to make the team better?
If you go back and look at that North Carolina game, Rob, there are plays where it's legitimately the D-line running in between the tackles, and everybody's just got their fucking arms out watching them run by, maybe giving them a high five on the way by.
Well, you can make an argument that, and once again, I'm wearing the Clemson hat on this program here, but I mean, I've covered South Carolina for this will be my 22nd season coming up. I think, 20, something like. Anyway, when you look at South Carolina, they're bringing in SEC caliber athletes on that offensive line, but they just look like they're just either they're too slow or they're just not in the right place, you know? And I wonder if they were properly coached, how well they would do. The tree guy, I can't remember his name.
Tucson.
Like, that is a big dude.
But I mean, I hate playing freshmen along the line, man.
Look, you have one guy right here. You put that guy on his ass every time. You do that. That's the only thing you do. And then once he's really good at that, then we can work on some other things. But I just.
Well, has there ever been like an O line come into the SEC, an O lineman come in and just dominate his freshman year? I just don't really see it happening often. I don't think he should. If not for injuries, I don't think he plays at all.
Alabama started a freshman on the O line this year, if I remember right.
Didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's been guys that have done it, but
it's not ideal.
Lines that are seasoned and they grow together, and then you have.
Well, that was the story of Michigan this year.
Yeah, that's true.
And honestly, that was the story of Arkansas as well.
Shitty Gamecock coaching. I mean, they blew your team out of the water this year. So
yeah, Papa B just needs to pipe the fuck down. You're a little boy to us, all right? Get a W and then you can talk, all right? But Papa B's never even called in. I don't even know what this guy sounds like.
Are you really talking shit to Mississippi State fans?
Of course.
No, I didn't. I wasn't really talking
they
shit.
Just like we dogged Tennessee, but they just got running water in Mississippi. All the people in Mississippi can't spell
Mississippi. Still suffering. Wasn't that where the Brett Favre stuff that took place? They're still suffering from the Brett Favre shit.
Suffering from the Brett Favre nonsense. So,
but you know what? Back to the basketball. I'm proud of my Gamecocks. We got a tough couple games coming up. Vanderbilt. Then is it on the road at Auburn, right? Or do they come into the CLA?
Yeah, they're on the road at. Do we play them twice or just once?
We
play them after Vandy.
Hopefully, it's just once.
I think it's.
They have to go. They have to go and play at Ole Miss.
That Auburn team looks good.
I'm going to 2 games. I'm going to 2 games down the stretch. I'm going to the Florida game on the 2nd, and I'm going to the LSU game.
That should be good.
That's not this Saturday. That's the next Saturday. Both of those are 3:30 games.
Yeah, that Vanderbilt and then 4-day break going to Auburn is that's going to be a test. But you know what? This team has been tested already this season. I don't see why we don't come out and get a fucking dub. They haven't shown me anything to doubt them so far. So, you know, I'm curious to see what the Vegas lines are going to be on that, though.
SEC Dog says, this ACC homer trying to talk college football. Hey, Rob, maybe you and Pete, I think he's talking about Pigskin Pete, can go on a date with Dabo. Pete thinks that Dabo said no to Bama. You can't make this up. I mean, what do you to quote Lawrence Taylor in the fine movie The Waterboy, don't smoke crack. Anyway, continue.
What do you think about all that? I didn't really hear you give much of an opinion on the whole Dabo and Alabama thing.
I mean, I didn't think he was going to go there anyway.
I didn't either.
I think that after Dabo Swinney went and handed Nick Saban his ass worse than any fucking coach ever in a championship environment, beat him by 28 points. None of you cocksuckers can say that, period. Yeah, we beat the GOAT by 28 points in a college football playoff game. The guy that you're mocking, he did that. So go fuck yourself when you start talking about.
You gotta look at that. You gotta look at that game though. You gotta look at it as kind of a glass half empty, because ever since then, I mean, Clemson's kind of.
I mean, they made the championship game next year, but you know.
Yeah, and they lost it.
They got kind of dick slapped in it too.
Yeah, and then in 2020, I mean, they got dick slapped. in the playoffs, and then what was it? The UGA, the next game as
I'll
far as
stand
2021,
behind Coach.
they kind of broke Clemson, and
Well,
it hadn't been the same.
He's got
If
natural talent.
I think if Saban would have retired around 2018, I think it's a lot more likely that Dabo would have went personally.
Well, they all wanted
Yeah.
him then, but they don't want him now because a lot of it has to do with his stance on the NIL stuff. And they know, I think that people don't want a coach that's not going to be on board with that. And
I
as
don't
of
think
right
he has
now,
an
it's
issue. I
still
don't
off
think he
with
really
the-
has that much of an issue with the NIL.
I mean,
It's
the
more-
transfer portal is what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, how long until you think they're going to be calling for Garrett Riley's head in Memorial Stadium next year?
well, when you really look at the numbers, they weren't much better than what Streeter had.
Mm-mm.
If you look at the raw numbers,
He was gone after a year, wasn't he?
they're paying him a shit ton more money. So if I were
Well,
Coach Riley, I would get my shit together and figure it out. Or
Well, I think Dabo probably had his hand in the cookie jar
His
on
little
the offense.
freaking talons.
Every
Yeah.
time I saw them over there on the sideline, was watching those games, and he was trying to coach them up. Here Dabo was coming right over there in the mix. Who knows what he was saying?
Well, it doesn't
throw the whole
help when
damn
you're
play away.
it doesn't help when your quarterback decides to call run plays on himself either, does it?
He's calling plays. Clemson is fucked. And I mean that because you've had your offensive coordinator putting in this game plan all fucking week. You're supposed to be the CEO. Let him coach. If you don't like the plays he calls, then find you another coordinator. You can do that.
Yeah.
But if he's calling plays, then that's not good. That's not good at all. So,
Yeah.
it's just that line of thinking is crazy.
I don't personally think I don't think the Clemson offense is going to get any better.
The Clemson hoops team to go to Mizzou. Fuck you.
Do what?
Fuck your Carlton looking ass. Sorry.
Well, I'm worried for you. I'm worried for you, Rob. I don't think the Clemson offense is going to be good.
Why are you worried for me?
I think the Clemson offense is about to really take a downturn, Rob. You're losing your best running back.
They can't take a downturn. What are you talking about?
I think they will.
They didn't lose their leading rusher. Moffitt was their leading rusher.
Shipley was the best running back on y'all's team. Don't bullshit me.
No, but he wasn't the one
Y'all
that
were
got
hyping up. Y'all, all year we've been hearing Shipley's a first rounder. Come on, Rob, don't do that.
Shipley's not a first rounder.
But
Moffitt is a better back if he could keep from fucking fumbling the football.
KO, do you want to?
Clemson games this year?
I have, and I've also.
Was he really the leading rusher?
Wet dream. Yeah, he was. He was the leading
because
rusher.
of his stats in the Gator Bowl probably put him over the top.
He ended up leading the team in rushing.
KO, are you going to sit here and agree with this man that Clemson hasn't been dick riding Will Shipley for the past 3 years? Like he's the best fucking running back in the country?
Well, but look, you can put that out there, but in reality, when it came down to it, Moffa's the better back. He ended up getting more yards, and he's.
You can say that, but everyone here knows the actual fact of the matter. You're also losing.
Something was off with Will Shipley last year. He should have taken a step.
He fumbled a lot.
Well, you know what was off with Will Shipley? He had an attitude problem.
Yeah, didn't he fuck with CJ Spiller?
Fucking arguing with CJ Spiller on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point where I think that college football has gotten to a point now where the players are trying to be like the NBA, where they're running the game instead of listening to coaches and doing what the fuck they're told to do. So you've got Shipley who's bitching about getting carries for touchdowns so he can beef up his numbers. I'm glad that fucking bitch is gone. Him and his porno mustache. Get the fuck out of here. Moffitt just runs the ball and does what the fuck he's supposed to do. Now, if we can get Klubnik to not try to sneak the fucking ball in himself and give it to the goddamn great running back that's behind you, put the fucking ball in his gut, asshole. Then we went over Miami. Fucking idiot. I'm glad Shipley's gone. He could, when he comes back.
Well, what about Bo Collins?
He doesn't go to any. Fuck Bo Collins too. Him and Shipley probably scissor each other. Fuck them both. Tired of hearing this shit about both of them. They're both.
I guarantee you, he's probably not going to be scissoring him where he's at now because
They're
touchdown
scissoring
Jesus
each
wouldn't
At
other.
hurt.
a Christian
I am
university.
44 years old, and I would run over Will Shipley right now. He is not that fucking tough. He's not. He is not tough at all. He is a fucking paper thin
Well,
bastard.
I will note
Fuck that.
this is a complete 90-degree from the start of the year. Okay.
What are you
A
talking
complete
about?
90-degree. I still remember you saying how Will Shipley is by far the best back in the state.
Yeah, I thought he
Much
was going
better
to
than
be the
Marshawn
best back in the
Lloyd.
state. And then he
Well-
got on his period and stayed on it and kept
It was
tripping
that
on
damn
his
Chipotle
goddamn
NIL deal. He was eating all those fucking
tripping on
bowls.
his tampon string all year and listening to somebody else telling him, you're the best back, instead of going out there and actually being the fucking best back. The best back was fucking Maffa, who went out there and got his carries and didn't miss blocks like a bitch and ran the damn football.
I thought Maffa missed that block in
Lloyd
Florida
would have been the
State.
best back in the state. If he'd
After
stayed
that,
in
he
the
didn't miss many.
Well, I mean, that was like the key block to miss.
One block. Shipley missed shit all fucking year. He was one of the worst blockers on the team, in my opinion.
Todd
Well,
Gwynn says, didn't Shipley transfer to Arkansas basketball? No, he
I know where Todd's going with that, and that is funny, Todd.
They got
Very
someone
good,
who looks like him.
sir. Very good, sir.
I don't know nothing.
I haven't watched much of the Razorback b-ball team this year, unfortunately, to get that
Well,
joke.
there's allegedly, I can say this. I think I can get away with this.
Oh, I know what they're talking
Allegedly,
about.
yeah, two Arkansas basketball players are having sexual relations with each other.
Well, you can't say that stuff anymore, Rob. You can't
Why
make
can't
fun
I
of
say
it.
that? That's what allegedly is happening, and they was allegedly killing the team. And Coach Musselman doesn't want
Killing the team.
It's 2024. I mean,
Hey.
we're all damned if we make fun of gay people.
Hey, Dwight Howard did it for years, and he's a Hall of Famer.
If they want to choke on each other's dick until the end of time, I don't give a shit. But the point is, for the basketball team there, the rest of the team's looking at it and they're like, fuck, these two guys blow each other better than my girlfriend blows me. And half of them are jealous and they can't get their shit together. And they're playing like dickheads too. I mean, if we're going to be honest here, let's just be honest. Those guys want to fuck each other, go fuck each other. I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, it might be 2024 and we're supposed to be woke and all this, but I mean, I can still laugh about gay people and they laugh about it too. They know we laugh at them, so they don't give a shit.
Isn't it more woke for me to say, I don't care if you suck dick? Suck all the dick you want.
Yeah, it is. That's how it is. I mean, I don't care what you do, really.
Give a
You
shit.
know, just the odds of that happening though are kind of baffling. If you
Go
think
rip
about
some
it.
fudge hole open. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care how you live your life.
I wonder how that affects the team chemistry. I don't know how it affects. I mean, according to several things I've read, Coach Musselman thinks that it's an issue that could screw the team over, especially on the recruiting front. I don't know.
Well, if they're like,
let's say that. I mean, if you had if you had a 10-person basketball team and it was mixed guys and girls, and one was fucking the other, and it was a guy and a girl, that would cause issues on the team there. Period. So
Yeah.
it don't matter that they're the same sex or nothing. It's just what's the thing? It's a conflict of interest.
Well, that most workplaces won't allow that to begin with, anyways, for the same damn reason.
Let me give you something here. We'll have story time with Rob for 90 seconds. I was on the first Coast Guard boat that was a river tender that was actually where they actually put women on the river tender boats. Okay. And it was going up and down the Mississippi River. And they actually built like a separate berthing area they were going to have 2 women on board, but they only had 1 to start with. And after 4 trips up and down the river, the one woman on there got pregnant, and it wasn't by her husband boyfriend. It was by, some of the guys that were on the boat. So when you see shit like
a long trip up the river or a short one,
she was a Mississippi queen. Let's leave it at that. A lot of people got to date the Mississippi queen.
Hey, old barracks gal.
Old barracks gal, exactly. It's not happening.
That's
you wouldn't know anything about it, would you, Rob?
No, sir, because I had a I had a girlfriend that would have been like she was onto that shit quick.
Was it
She's like,
Karen or was it someone else?
no, it wasn't my wife yet. My girlfriend's name was Beth. Beth was a trip.
Well,
Chris says Rob was in the Coast Guard. That explains so much. What do you have? You have an issue with people in the Coast Guard? You have an issue with people in the military, sir?
has Chris ever served?
Probably not.
That would be it. Chris, type if you served,
That's
man.
a valid question. If you did, great. If not,
If you did, I'll give you a valid shot at Rob. But if not, you can shut the fuck up because at least you fucking
Rob only sleeps with men. Very good, Brock. Actually, the Coast Guard is part of the military, but sure, whatever.
Well, that's your Tennessee education right there. You know they got like a 90% acceptance rate up there. You walk in, you finish 2 high school classes, they'll let you in.
Stupid fuck! It's not part of the Department of Transportation. It's part of Department of Homeland Security. Go read a book, you fucking idiot. Find a coloring book, one with pictures, and read that. Yeah. Moron. Go to Tracy K. May and get you a coloring book. Like we used to get all the little kids up there. Get you a coloring book.
He's doing everything but saying what branch he served in. I'd like to throw in as well. But common from the Tennessee man.
The only military he knows about is being part of the Village People.
Or Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
The Uncle Lou way back in the comment section says 100+ people come to the Slob Olympics from all over the country, but let's make sure we do it close to jackpot every year. Yeah, I mean that would be fine. I mean that way I could attend more often. But seriously, I mean I think the bulk of the base of folks who subscribe and watch that channel are probably from the Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee region. I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah.
And there's probably some outliers of Florida. And yes, there are some people. I know that the Arizona dude flew in last year. Nate was someone who flew in, but I mean, all over the country, I don't know about that.
Well,
I don't know about that.
He does a great event, and he brings people together, and God bless him.
It's fun. It's fun. I mean, it's too far with the new job and all that. It's just too far to go.
Where are they doing it this year?
Panama City.
Oh, yeah, that's a long drive from up here. It's like 9 hours. I did that last year. I did that drive.
I've been there before. It's a good ways. I mean, you got to go all the way. You go all the way down through Georgia, all the way through South Georgia.
We went. We didn't take the interstate. We went through some bumpkin ass highways, dude, out in the middle of fucking nowhere. But I'll tell you,
you two losers are just jealous of the Slob Olympics. No, sir. I said point blank, Uncle Lou does a great job with that event. Yeah. And I mean, I wish I had the opportunity to go, but I just can't go.
Who said that? What?
Sir Ugo over there in the comments. Look, I'll highlight it. We're jealous of the Slob Olympics. What? Nobody like we just sit around.
How am I jealous of an event? That's like saying you're jealous of the Clemson, South Carolina football game.
Yeah, it's a weird,
doesn't make any sense.
And especially when we were just talking about the
how am I
viewership.
Jealous of something that I attended last year? I participated in.
Yeah, I don't get what
he's
talking
about. Away.
Respect those who served, except for the arrogant ones who think we should always put out the red carpet for them because, yeah, that's true. There's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, so, I can agree with that, bro. Brock's a man of wisdom, okay?
That's true. Dude, I actually saw someone like I wasn't involved in it, but this happened at Walmart. It was happened to me when I was shopping a few years ago. Some old guy had stolen something, and he was up there bitching. Well, I'm a veteran, I'll have you know. So, I mean, you steal shit.
Yeah.
How would the other veterans look at that?
Why is this guy talking shit? When did y'all ever speak bad about the Olympics?
Why did you attend the event if you didn't give a shit? Brother, I just can't get off work, and I have 3 children, man. And the idea of like, hey, I'm going to go to Panama City.
That doesn't make any sense. He says, you've never been. Why did you attend the event? Well, you just said you'd never been.
I said I would like
to say, why didn't you?
I would like to attend, but I just can't. Just can't. Sorry. I mean, it's nothing against the folks that are there. Hope you guys have the grandest time ever, man.
When did y'all ever say anything negative about the Slav Olympics? Is what I want to know.
Nobody has.
I didn't think so. That kind of seemed like it came from left field, huh?
Well, what else you got, man? We got to bring on
Yep.
Kristen Georgia here to
I
yell at me.
got one more thing. Hold up. Let me get in for you. Quarter zip, baby. On to fucking Vanderbilt. Then we got Auburn. It's your fucking ass. Cox run the SEC, baby. Fuck you, Chris. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You just fuck you, all right? Tennessee, it's the worst fucking school in the SEC. Guess what? When we play you again, we're going to put sand on the court. We're going to put sand on the field because that's what we fucking do, all right? Quarter zip out, baby.
Welcome, Chris, to the show. What's up there, buddy?
Hey, what's up? As long as they don't treat beating Vanderbilt like their Super Bowl like Kentucky fans did. Hell, they got their ass beat last weekend, and they beat Vanderbilt yesterday, and you'd have thought they fucking beat the 90s Pistons or something.
You know what?
Well,
you and I
struggling.
disagree on a lot, but you're right about that. They were crowing big about beating Vanderbilt in my Twitter feed. It was funny.
But no, I was in the Navy. That's the only reason. I served with some Coast Guard guys down in Kings Bay for a little bit. That's the only Coast Guard guys. There were a couple in Bahrain, but I never interacted with them.
So, like, the joke is that you joined the Coast Guard because you're afraid of drowning.
Exactly. That's why I said I was surprised you're over 6 feet tall. So, because that's how far out they can walk out in the water before they have to come back.
Yeah.
No, they deployed. We had, like I said, in Bahrain, there was, I don't know, I think it was a cutter, maybe a frigate they had out there in Bahrain, which they go out. That's the off the coast of Saudi Arabia and stuff, the Persian Gulf. But
Yeah.
But
Coast Guard's the reason I don't paint anything. Because my first year in, all I did was fucking paint. And I promised myself that if I ever got out, I would never have wet socks or paint anything. And if I'm painting or my socks are wet, I'm not.
Bob Ross, or you were painting like fences and shit?
no, you got to take a chisel hammer and chisel the old paint off and paint new paint on the ships, man. That's how they stay so pretty.
I was painting handrails and fucking guide poles.
I came in. When did you join?
Showing my age here. I joined in 98.
They were very job specific after 9/11. If you joined, like I joined to be a master at arms, be military police. So that's all I really did. But if you joined before 9/11, everybody did everything because it was just, especially because the ships were always undermanned before 9/11. So if you were on a ship, you could be a cook, but you were painting and everything.
Well, they like your first year, they make you do all the. It's just manual labor bullshit is what you're having to do. It's terrible. So it's like, it just sucked. Mopping decks in the rain. Yeah, I was on a river tender and it was so cold. We were up near Minnesota. Like you would have to go out and break the ice off the boat every morning. And it's like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? You know?
That sucked. In Kings Bay, man, they had submariners, and I couldn't imagine that life, man. Just being in a cold steel tube under the sea for 60 days at a time.
Well,
breathing recycled air.
You were a submariner?
No, I wasn't. I was at Kings Bay, which was a submarine base. We did nuclear weapons security down there.
Folks, man, I don't understand those guys.
They were all weird too, man. They were all so weird. The
tube of death. What are we doing here anyway? Yeah.
But no, the bluegrass is calling, and I was saying I miss his videos, man. Every time he'd say Tennessee was going to suck, we'd win 9-10 games. So I need him to make some more videos. He didn't make one this year. We only won 8 games, so I need him some more freezing cold take videos.
He didn't answer when I asked him what size milk carton he was on, the gallon or the half gallon. So he was a Marine. He didn't have a sailor like me there help teaching him how to use the camera, showing him what buttons. He's probably eating all them crayons and passed out after he ate a whole box. He probably got one of them 64 boxes from Crayola for Christmas, and he'd been asleep since Christmas.
That's the one with all the weird colors in it.
Yeah, man, they got peach, and it's not peach flavored from what I hear though. But
Like brown sepia.
yeah, but
All weird crayons. Yeah.
no, man, I get why you guys don't want to go to Slob Olympics. I wouldn't want to go to Panama City either. It's a slight step above Myrtle Beach, but it's not that great.
I mean, I've been down there before. It's a nice place. It's just a bit far.
Ever since Club La Vila closed down, man, it ain't even worth going, man.
Isn't that where didn't they have Monday Nitro there a couple times, Rob?
I don't know. That's where they had every time spring break, MTV spring break was in Panama City. That's like the club where they were dancing out over the pool and all that stuff. It got messed up in a hurricane, like I want to say 2012, and it's not been open since. But ain't no point going there, man, if that ain't open. But I'll let you guys get on with the show, and I'll probably talk to you guys Sunday.
Appreciate it, buddy. Have a good night.
Randall says, Jackpot, do you like the new job better than the vendor job? The job itself, no. The hours, yes.
All right, so let's go over this quarterback list before we get out of here, Jackpot. The quarterback list, this is from 247 Sports, where they rank the SEC quarterbacks. Number 15, Jackpot, we'll do actually number 16. So in their opinion, the lowest rated quarterback in the SEC is Brock Vandagriff with Kentucky. I don't really with all
I saw where they interviewed him maybe a week or so ago. I was watching some of that today. He doesn't look. This is the first time I've ever seen Brock Vandagriff up close, and he was giving a pretty good interview, and he looks nothing like I thought he would look like. I mean, I thought he was like this tall blonde, like I envisioned like a younger version of Lane Kiffin type, but no, I mean this kid's like he's got this really bushy, like porn star mustache, and he looks like he's ready to go grab a case of beer and go drink it with Ricky Bobby or something. But yeah, they had him rated as last. I don't know.
That I mean, it's hard to do that when the guy hasn't really played. So I don't know. At number 15, you've got Lenore Sellers. They're starting this, what's projected to be the starting quarterback for South Carolina. I don't think at the end of the season Lenore Sellers is going to be the 15th best quarterback in the conference. I think that's going to be. I just think he's not. I just believe in my heart he's not going to be that bad. I really don't. So
no, I mean he's got the athleticism. He's got the wheels. I mean, and he's got some weapons around him. So we'll see. That offensive line is going to be what's going to make all of this go. So,
well, but here's the thing: Taylon Green is projected to be the Arkansas quarterback. He'll be better than Taylon Green. I doubt fucking playing on the Smurf turf is going to give you some stripes heading into coming to play against the Alabamas and everything in the world.
Yeah, I looked at his numbers are terrible.
Yeah.
Taylon Green is I think he threw more interceptions than he threw touchdowns. And that's not very indicative of Boise State's had some good quarterbacks. So
they got Peyton Thorne at Auburn at number 13.
Another one that terrible quarterback rating last year.
Yeah, terrible.
I don't know why that. I don't know.
And I've got to get up on my Vanderbilt stuff, but Diego Pavia, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce their name, is the Vanderbilt quarterback allegedly. And at New Mexico State, he threw for almost 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and ran for almost 1,000 yards. So, hey, maybe the guy, maybe they know they're not going to recruit any offensive linemen there at Vanderbilt. Maybe they're going to have a guy that's going to run and chuck. Who knows?
Sir UGA says a Jets flag next to a USC junior flag, LMAO. Yeah. What do you have? A Falcons flag next to a Georgia flag? That's original.
Yeah.
You probably got a Georgia flag next to a Donuts flag.
They have Blake Shapen. You know who Blake Shapen is, Jackpot?
Yeah, wasn't he quarterback at Baylor?
He was the quarterback at Baylor, and apparently he's going to be the guy that they have it ranked 11th. I mean, it's kind of funny to when you really step back, because it's like a lot of these guys, how good are they going to be? Jackson Arnold in Oklahoma, they've got him at 10, even though he's
Yeah, that's all about
yards.
that's another that's one that they are hyping, I think. He played behind Dylan Gabriel last year. We'll see. Yeah, but he had a little bit of numbers.
Connor Wegman at Texas A&M. I mean, he's ranked number 9. It's like, yeah, okay. He didn't do anything that set the world on fire last year, but who knows? Maybe under Mike Elko, maybe he'll do something. Who knows? Number 8 is Graham Mertz. That's Jackpot's buddy. You cussed him up one side and down the other this year with Mertz.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Him and his wide receiver. What was his name? Pearsall?
Ricky Pearson or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know. Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. I think he's going to be pretty good. He played big kid. He's got a chance.
Does he have any wide receiver talent there, or is it all gone? Because in addition to Malik motherfucking Neighbor, I don't know why after his name I got to put motherfucking in the middle. Malik motherfucking Neighbors. There was another young man there who had some pretty good numbers as well.
Yeah,
I think both of them are gone.
Number 6 is the Nico Amamiyamaleva, which I can't pronounce his name. For Tennessee, he's ranked as 6th. This is obvious horseshit. He's supposed to win the Heisman, right?
Yeah, that's too low.
Too low. Brady Cook at Missouri, who tuned up that Tennessee defense last year. He's at 5. So yeah,
he's got some weapons.
Yeah, I mean Luther Burden's pretty good. Yep. Jalen Milrose at 4. You have issues with that?
I thought Brady Cook played better than Jalen Milroe. I don't. I mean, that's just me though.
Number 3 is Jackson Dart from Ole Miss.
Okay, I can see that.
And then number 2 is Quinn Ewers from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to argue that he might be number 1, but I guess.
Well, number 1 is Carson Beck. So until somebody unseats Carson Beck, so yeah, there's that. Well, anyway, it's kind of hard to rank these guys until they actually get out there after spring. But I mean, I don't think Sellers is going to finish 15th overall. I don't think that's how it's going to happen. So,
no, I don't. I didn't even know that kid from New Mexico State had transferred to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I think his coach quit though. I think he retired for health reasons or something. That Jerry Kill guy at New Mexico State. Yeah. Did you see that interview? Did I show you that interview where he the Diego kid, apparently he pissed all over something in the locker room at the University of I guess the University of New Mexico is their big rival. So like he peed all over some lockers or something in there when they played there in like September. And so they were in the New Mexico Bowl against I want to say it was Fresno State. And like the University of New Mexico athletic director was going to make them like practice out in the cold and shit. Wasn't going to let them have access to the indoor facility there because of that. But like the coach had already punished the Diego kid, like to the tune of like at their own school, like he made him clean the bathrooms. Like he had to clean the shitters with like a toothbrush and stuff. So I mean, he punished him. So the coach was pretty pissed, and he got up there and went on a big tirade about it.
Well, with that, I got nothing. I don't even know where to go from here on that. I mean, the kid's pissing on logos. I don't know. I don't even know where to go from here on that jackpot. So South Carolina plays at Vanderbilt this weekend. Clemson has who? Does
No, I
Clemson?
think it's a home game.
Oh, it's a home game this weekend.
Yep. It's in the CLA. I'm pretty sure.
In the clay. Clemson plays this weekend. Where do they play? After they beat North Carolina, they play. Oh no, I'm scrolling too far here. Yeah, they're at home. No, they're on the road at Syracuse. They go to the Dome on Saturday. High noon.
Good?
Yep, that'll be the. Had to see how Clemson, if they can keep their heads together. Yeah, so signing day was today. No real surprises there. It's like you have 2 signing days now, so the true signing day really doesn't mean as much, jackpot.
No, I mean it went and came, or it came and went with like a wet fart. I mean, you hardly even knew it was around. I mean,
Uncle Lou says jackpot has to work Saturdays. That's why he's not going. He wouldn't go if we literally held it at his favorite Dollar General.
no, that's not true.
Why come in and say some shit like that, man? Come on.
That's not true.
Yeah.
If it was that Dollar General, we'd be talking. I'm all about getting some Clover Valley snacks.
Some Clover Valley snacks. Jesus. All right. Well, we've had a good show this evening, and we'll be back at it on Sunday. Oh, we're going to do a show on Super Bowl Sunday, jackpot. You want to do that? Did we do one last year? I can't remember.
Super Bowl show?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we did.
We did it. It's like the Super Bowl ended. I don't know.
Yeah, the Super Bowl starts at like 6:37.
Yeah. Big Brother Ross says, what about
as late as it used to be? I'm glad they do that now, especially they do it with the national championship game too.
Yeah.
You remember that thing? I remember the year the Taters played Alabama in like the first one. It started at like 9. And I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, I gotta go to. I had to get up, be at work at 6 or 6:30 the next morning. I'm like, shit! I guess I want to watch this damn thing. And I was up to like 1:00 in the morning, 1:30 before it finally ended. Glad they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right. Well, anyway, we've had a good show.
When the Gamecocks finally make it there, I want to be able to celebrate and not be tired, you know?
Can you imagine, jackpot, if South Carolina was playing in the CFP? This motherfucker would not be, I mean...
I wouldn't shut up.
You wouldn't shut up. I mean, literally, we would do the show where I would just be here, and it would just be jackpot just like that. He'd take up the whole show. That's where jackpot would be. So there's that.
2 billion says Lou should be disqualified from competing in Slav Olympic. Why?
I don't understand that.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we've had a good show. We're back at it on Super Bowl Sunday. Good luck the rest of the week. And we'll talk to you guys later on.
See ya.